Crafters. This is Claudia again with White Sugar Designs. Today I'm working on another spread on my daily life journal. And you saw a few of the pages that have done so far this year. Today I'm so happy I am working on, look at those pretty faces there. Those are the photos that I took with some of the superstars there, some creative and strong women. I attended Creativation back in January, and so I took some of those photos, and I have to document seeing and meeting a few of these people. Becky Higgins I had met before, and same with Heidi Swapp. I had met her before back in some other events with what was the name of that magazine? Creative Keepsakes. And I met Amy Tangerine for the very first time there. So I was happy to take some photos with them. The whole theme for this layout is all about circles, and you will get to see that there. But before, I'm trying to do a new technique with the stencil, and I don't know what to call this. Maybe it's stamping with the stencil, because that's kind of what it is. So I'm going to be using some acrylic paint. But before I get started with that, I forgot to show you the sketch. I start with the sketch because it just puts me in the right direction, and there it is. It's a little faint because I haven't traced it with the black pen yet, but you kind of get the gist of the direction that I will be going with this layout, and you saw that it was lots of circles. So I grabbed a piece of acrylic, just a sheet of acrylic paper. It's not paper, but a sheet of acrylic, whatever we want to call that. So wait, transparency. It's a transparency. I'm sorry, it's not acrylic. It's acrylic paint, but it's a transparency. So I grabbed one of my most favorite stencils, and that stencil is by the Crafters Workshop. And I am applying the mix of colors of turquoise and white because I wanted it a little bit lighter with a brayer. That's the little roller thingy there. I wish I had a second one because I'm using a paper towel here to push and apply the ink, the paint. And finger crossed. And yay, it looks so pretty. You'll get to see some close-ups here later on. And so I am, again, like I said, if I had a second brayer, I would be using that to roll, a dry, a clean brayer. I would use that to roll over the stencil and apply the paint that way. But since I don't have one, I'm just using the paper towel. I got smarter and got a second piece of transparency because it just wasn't working with the one. I needed more space, and I need more space here in my work area, but I wanted to keep everything in frame. So I was trying not to get the paint all over the place, so it got a little messy. So think about that if you are trying to use this technique for yourself. So I'm keep applying it like a stamp, so I'm kind of like stamping, and I ran out of ink, and so I mix a little bit more. I think there is a tool out there, and I don't know what it's called. I will do research on it because I might be interested in purchasing that, and I know it's by Tim Holtz. And I can't remember Karen, oh my gosh, I can't remember her last name. She does awesome videos for American Crafts, and she had that tool. It's like a block. You use this block to apply the paint to the stencil. So I'm going to look at that up. If I do, I will put a link to it here on the description. Next step here, I'm using Color Shine by Heidi Swapp, and I'm just doing a little splattering effect. Just just a little dots of paint randomly applied to the page. Now here are all the circles that I am going to be using, and these amazing art craft supplies are by the Reset Girl. Her creations are so beautiful, this digital goodness. You can purchase these as digital files and then have them print them by a printing company like Staples or Kinko's. If you live here in California, I don't know where there's if they're all over the place. But anyways, I got those printed at a local print shop that I use here, and they just come out so much more prettier than if I print them on my old printer. So I'm using my, I think that's a 2-inch punch. That the two sheets that I was showing you there, those are 2-inch circles. I also printed some of her flowers on acetate or a transparency, and I'm cutting that out as well because I thought that would add a cool kind of almost like a watercolor effect to the page. And so, but my punches are not sharp. I need to start cutting some aluminum paper with them, and I think that's a technique to sharpen them. So I took all the cutting out of the video because I want to keep it short, and as it is, this one's an 18-minute video, and I like to keep them at 15, but sorry guys, this one's 18 minutes. So I cut all the circles that I wanted to use. The one turquoise circle that you see right above Becky Higgins' head, I created that using Photoshop. I drew it, turned it into an digital image, uploaded it to the Cricut design space. There, you see those three right there, that one in my hand. And then I was able to cut them with my Cricut because I saved them as an SVG file, and the Cricut cuts SVG files, so that is so awesome. I have a couple of other images that I've created, some hearts, and there's a few other things that I have created and was able to cut with my Cricut. So that's where those came from. I am now just arranging the circles the way I want, and then I will be, adhering those. So I'm playing around with the colors, using digital kits or paper kits are awesome because everything coordinates. So I grab, whenever Cori releases new digital products, I always go grab them. Oh, and by the way, if you don't know, if you're first to see this video here, if first time here in my channel, I am part of the creative design team for Cori the Reset Girl. So I get to play with all these amazing images, and so I'm trying to show you ways that you can use some of her artwork and her digital products. So now that I've arranged things how I want, I actually took a picture with my phone so I could remember how I had arranged the circles in case I forget. I did a little bit of doodling around the page. What else is new? Me and my doodling. There is more doodling going on here, but you've never seen this one. So, hey, you can turn an old trick into a new trick, I guess. So you will see there in a minute how I'm going to, the pictures themselves, I feel like they kind of get lost on the, not lost in the background, but they are not standing out the way I want them to. And one way that we do how we can make something stand out is by double matting it with a dark color. So there would be a dark color between the page itself and the photo. But I didn't want to add paper. So you'll see here in a minute my little trick. But first I'm going to be adding that, I don't know what to call that, doodle circle, doodle, I don't know, more doodling, I guess. But this time I actually cut the doodle out and I am using it to add some interest, I don't know, interest to the page, right? Because look at that. I love that. I'll show you some close-ups at the end so you can see how cool that ghost doodle circle thing looks like. So I'm attaching that with my glue pen. Somebody asked me today what kind of adhesives I use, and I think this glue pen is my number one, my go-to, besides my Tombow tape runner. So here is my doodle trick. Instead of adding paper, another layer of paper, I drew a circle to match the photo, and then I just go around and around and around, creating a mat, a doodle mat. How many times have I said doodle already? My goodness. But watch the difference. Can you see how the photo now, your eye goes straight to the photo because there's something interesting around it that's, it's like almost adding a focus to it. And so I'm attaching I was going to say vellum, the acrylic with just a little tape, and I put it underneath the photo so you don't see it, since the I keep saying acrylic, the acetate is transparent. And that bracelet was getting in my way, so I chucked it out because it was getting caught on the pages when I was moving the pen in a circle. So you'll see again how much the photo stands out with that, yep, doodle, those circles around it. I really, really love those flower bouquets printed on the acetate. I've done several layouts in other, projects, and I really liked that technique. So I'm gonna add Amy Tangerine. She was really cute. Everybody was super cute. Oh my gosh. Heidi is just so amazing. That smile is so contagious. She is just a sweetheart. And I was telling Becky that I had met her before, and she goes, "Oh, yeah, I remember that event." I go, "Well, I met you there a long time ago." Always been a fan of these ladies here, and so I was happy to get to see them again at Creativation and meet other new people. So there I'm just continuing with more circles. I love circles, so I was happy to come up with a way. Remember we used to, oh, I've been scrapbooking since 1999, and I remember when the trend started, we used to cut our photos into shapes, and I really, looking back, I didn't like it. I cut all my wedding pictures in shapes and stars and circles and squares is no problem, but so I'm kind of like, reminiscent that, wait a minute, I used to not like circles, but in this case, this layout worked so awesome. I'm adding more circles. These are from the Smitten kit from the Reset Girl again. So pretty much everything that you see here, besides those the turquoise doodle circles that I cut with the Cricut, everything is from the Reset Girl, all her kits. And also from the digital shop, and that one is called the Print and Snip Shop. It's awesome because you can just grab whatever you want, and if for some reason you run out or you make a mistake, you can just reprint some more. Now I'm going through a few more of the sheets that came in the Smitten collection. I was looking for different circle sizes. I wanted to have a variety on the page. So you can see that some of the sheets here are missing some of the stickers because I've already used them and put them on my planners. So I found a few more stickers that I wanted to use on the layout, and I am arranging them in kind of a diagonal pattern. I start from the upper right corner and move all the way to the left corner, and then just, making sure nothing's sticking out from the page, especially since those are stickers. And there's one thing that I always do throughout the creative process. Whenever I'm working on my layout, I stop and I look and make sure that I'm still going in the direction that I wanted to. If it is, then I just move forward, but if it's not, then I make adjustments as necessary and then move on. Now I'm going to work on part of the title of the page, which is going to be Creative and Strong, which is what I think these women are. They're definitely super creative and strong, powerful boss ladies. And so I was looking for an ampersand, but I couldn't find the right size, and so I ended up, well, for now I grabbed the letters, and luckily I found this sheet that I've had for a very, very long time, and I still have enough letters where I can create the title. And this is one of those things that I think about, going back to having a digital kit. When we buy these sheets, we run out of letters, and that just gets me so frustrated. Having a digital kit allows you to just, keep printing, but of course, these are letters. It'd be really hard to cut these out. So I have to come up with a way to fix that problem, maybe die cut letters. I actually have a die cut set of letters, but sometimes you want to go fast. And anyways, right now I still have enough letters to create this title. And like I was saying, it's going to say creative and strong. Luckily, I went through all my the rest of the stickers that I had by the Reset Girl from kits that past kits that I had, and I did find that circle ampersand. Am I saying that right? So that worked out perfect. Next, I'm going to be adding the word strong, and using that transparent, very flexible ruler, it just makes things easier. I line everything up, and for the most part I can just attach the entire word in one sitting. I will make sure to add a list of links to all the supplies that I have used in this layout, and hopefully you find that helpful. And I also hope that you have found inspiration in this layout, to think about your photos, and that it is okay to maybe cut them in different shapes. In my case, cutting them into circles, not just because I love circles, but it also allowed me to add more than one photo to this layout. And I personally feel that the more photos we add, the better story you can tell. So whenever I can, I will use as many photos as I can, or at least as much space that I have. So I hope that you think about that, and don't be shy and cut your photos. Sometimes you can get a good result. Sometimes we might only take one photo, and that's all that we need to tell our stories. But was happy that I was able to add these 3 photos to create this layout. So now I'm added a few little more details and embellishment to the page, and it's some enamel dots, different sizes, different colors, just randomly placed throughout the page. And it is coming to an end. I know I've already started saying my goodbyes, but it is coming to the end, I promise. Um, Let me know if you have any questions. I will have some close-ups, slower close-ups, because this one's pretty fast, but you can kind of get the gist of it there. I'm going to be adding the name, and that is Becky Higgins right there. She is so awesome in her Project Life products. There is Heidi Swapp in her Color Shine and all her planners. Everything is so gorgeous. And there is Amy Tangerine, and all her new books and her t-shirts are adorable. So I'm just doing a little journaling here about how I feel about these women and how fortunate it was for me to meet them at creativation. So guys, thanks again. Let's use these ladies as our examples and someone to look up to continue with our creativity. They sure help us continue with our creativity, so I thank them for that. And thank you so much for stopping by and checking out some of my videos. So guys, until next time, bye.